So, Crime O'Clock. Let's play this. I really love this game. I really do. I think it's so funny. It's so chill, so relaxing. It's just fun. Whoops, that's me. Forgot to start my GOG. But it's so fun. I love it. So, can't remember where we ended up yesterday. That's right, the spatial anomalies, the aliens, or... Play. The Nexus event, this lost age, is becoming more unstable at an alarming rate. My temporal scanners couldn't detect the variation as they occurred, but only once the deed was done. Yo, Braxton. This can mean only one thing. Whoever is attempting to disrupt the timeline is well aware of our presence and is trying to break the timeline continuum by flooding it with dozens of tiny, barely noticeable changes. I love your Braxton Frog. Those little changes are like drops. One can't make any difference, but if we get a lot of them, you can create a sea. Detective, I can see a temporal fluctuations on the North Market Street. Something happened there. Found out what happened. In the North Market. So we have to find something that happened. This? Shatter. This doll was destroyed entirely as it was an unstoppable force had run through it. The merchant appears to be desperate. Let me load my subroutine so we can see if there's any details about him in our database. Error. Access denied. Data about the subject, Shoshan, is classified. Crimson level clearance is required. Oh well, it was worth a try. At least we know his name now. Well, let's see if we can assess the nature of this unstoppable force. Look for more clues. Look for more clues. This? No. Look for more clues. What should those clues be? Him? Look for more clues. I wonder what those clues are. Yeah, it's kind of like Find Waldo. That we keep going back in time and have to retrace the steps of certain people and crimes. So it's actually quite a funny game. Now I'm just curious what it means with find more clues. What specific clues are we looking for? And the music is just amazing. I love this Egyptian, Eastern. If anybody sees anything that say, hey, this looks suspicious, or try this, let me know. We have to look for clues. So we did this guy here. That's not a clue. This guy? Oh. I'm curious what the game means. Look for more clues. So we know this guy got his stall broken. This person? So we're looking for a person with a bat or a weapon or... So we know he got his stall shattered. Destroying the tiny, blah blah blah. Let me load my subroutine. Oh, well, it's worth a try. You know, at least we can assess the nature of this unstoppable force. Are we looking for a person with a weapon, or... There we go. It's a goat. There. A villain to be reckoned with. A destroyer of stalls. Goat? Why do there have to be goats? There are no telling of what horror such a creature could wreak upon a defensive city. Well, I guess we have our unstoppable force. Sadly, goats of lost age weren't legally punishable. That became a thing only after the Great Goat Gorilla of 2356. Because we can't have that devious goat arrested, we should follow it until we find its owner. So now we go back in time. So now we can see the goat from the past is gone. His stall is here. So now we have to backtrack and find the goat, and it's right there. Nice horns. We go further back in time. So now we know the goat has been here and has went down here. So where could the goat be here? So it is kind of a find Waldo game, which I kind of like. There. Fool. There. That man is foolish enough to hold the goat in his arms. Is his owner, or is it the goat really the master? Let's find his identity, hoping we have enough clearance this time. Database match subroutine loaded correctly. Nope. We have to find the right... So are these cute little mini games. Good job, detective. Our goat owner's name is Ufa, some sort of merchant he is. I can see from the database that he had a bitter rivalry with Shoshan. Wait, I have an idea. Want to see what Ufa was doing while his goat from hell was racing Shoshan's soul. Now we go forward again. Find Ufa. So we know the stall was here when it was broken, right? So now we just need to find Ufa while... Where could Ufa be? Is that Ufa? No. So a short beak person. Is this Ufa? There. And it's a very cute minigame. I really love it. I really enjoy it. Look at him. He seems to be pretty happy. I guess he and the goat share an appetite for destruction. Everything about Ufa is suspicious. Let's go back in time and follow him so that we can confirm our suspicions. Okay. We've gone really back in time. So now we have to find Ufa. So now we're way back before he even planned this. We're at tick 1. And you can see here, this happened at tick 3. Or sorry, tick 10, 9, 10 as well. So we know. So now we have to find Ufa before he even starts the crime. As you can see here, things have changed at the Colosseum. Could this be Ufa? No. Here's a goat, though. So where is Ufa? If anybody sees Ufa or says that looks like him, say. I really enjoy the music in this one. Where is Ufa? Give me a second, I just had to reply to something. So where was Ufa last? It was here. We know it was here after the crime. And he went here. We noticed the goat was here. He was last seen here. One of the, they call it Earthgate, but I call it a Stargate. But, so we know he was here prior. So he has to be, maybe he's buying the goat somewhere, or there's Jafar. I can't remember the parrot name, but I don't think he's near the pyramid. I was thinking maybe this could be Ufa because here's the goat, but this is not Ufa, right? What does Ufa look like? I can show you. See if we can find a picture of him. This is Ufa. I just wanted to see if there was... you want to use the laser on him? So where could he be? This can't be him. Oh. So he has a short beak. Pointy short beak. There. Ufa was arguing with Shushan. By the look of the stone behind them, the two had an ongoing challenge. It was called Taslim. It was quite a popular game between merchants and the Lost Age. Basically, the challenger would see who would make the more significant profit within a certain period of time. Back then, it was just a game. Too bad it evolved into something quite dreadful. Well, enough with the history lesson. Let's follow Ufa during the game so that we can see how well he plays. So now we're tick 1. We go forward 1 tick. So we know he was standing here. Right? Look at the timeline. At tick 1, he was here. Now we're at tick 2. So Uffe has moved from this location to another location. So he could be anywhere on the map. But usually when it's only 1 tick, it's like close by. Here's the goat again at tick 2. So we know he was standing here. Here's Jafar again. This can't be Uffe, right? No. Could he be over at the Colosseum betting on battles, maybe? Will we find him over here, perhaps? Prophets, huh? Could this be him? There. Failure. Thank you, Braxton. Have a good evening. So we know now he was here. So he traveled from here to here. Now we're at tick 3. So now we know he's here. There. No? There. As was to be expected, Uffe lost the game of capitalism. Capitalism? Capitalism? Shoshan is mocking him, as is right. Usually those challenges include a wager of some kind. I believe we should decipher the stone tablet so we can learn the full rules of capitalism. Universal decryption subroutine loaded correctly. Okay, so 3 and then something. The stone tablet is crystal clear. The loser will have to give his stall to the winner. Yufa has lost everything. I must admit, he seems like a nice guy despite his love for goats, and he doesn't deserve such a fate. Not in this ruthless age. Even so, he likely never had a chance or the courage to seek revenge on Shoshan in the true timeline. It often happens that way. You should locate Ufa again to find a way to undo this paradox. Jesus, mother of Christ, my phone. Why is it that every time I stream, people keep texting me? Okay. Yes, Detective, I sense that you're becoming stressed about finding someone in a city where our suspect can instantly travel between Earth gates. Maybe I can help. Just give me some time to install a new subroutine. You have a freemium subscription, so you can speed up the process by watching some ads. No. Okay then. Are you really sure about the ads? They're quite funny, and they're targeted just for you. I know what you like. Ooh. Okay, you said no. I get it. Installation complete. You should know that some objects called pivots vibrate at a particular frequency, depending on the moment in time they're observed. Studying these objects make it possible to represent a period with a melody. However, by touching these pivotal objects, it's also possible to get an indication of the proximity of distortion in time and space. It's easy. Ice means far, and fire means near. Try it. Perfect. As you saw, the element returns fire, which means Ufa is nearby. Let's follow the merchant until we find the origin of the paradox. You can keep using the CFE analyzer if you need to. So that means he's close by, I guess. So, do I have to... I'm not quite sure I understand what I have to do. That means he's close by, right? Not quite sure I understand what I have to do. That means if I understand that he's close by here. There. Detective, can you see it too? That's the entity we call Rage, so was his intervention that turned Ufus's frustration into a fit of anger strong enough to push him towards vengeance. As I suspected, our foes are attacking the timeline by orchestrating several minor changes. We can't let this happen. We know what Rage's power are, and Ufa is in the throes of an uncontrollable fury because of him. We need to find a tick where Ufa is committing a crime so that we can have him arrested. Okay. Hold. 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 Why are they all cold? Here. There, fantastic work, detective. It seems that our goat owner was a good thief. Ufa stole the goat from this pet shop and unleashed its hellbound rage on Shoshan's stall. I know it was fun, but we can't let it happen. The timeline is at risk because we just seen Ufa steal a goat. We can alert a guard and have him detained for rustling. That way Shoshan's stall and fortune will be safe. I'm sorry, detective, but the right thing to do isn't always the easiest one. Solved in 33 minutes and 13 seconds. Now we must return to the mainframe and see if we can collect more data on our foe. As usual, detective, good job. My tests are complete. It seems that Rage and an enigmatic shapeshifter have a very similar energy signatures. That can't be a coincidence. Furthermore, this energy trait seems to be synthetic in nature, so it's probably able to reconstruct a pattern in the shapeshifter's one. There'd be a word or a code of some sort. Well, a name, Oblivion. I'm afraid we're out of time. I'm picking up a very strange signal from the information age. It's something I've never seen before. And by I mean the collective database of his agency. We have to hurry. The turquoise fallen dame. Now I hope that people will maybe stop texting. Detective, the readings I'm receiving from the information age makes no sense. As usual, we have a crime that shouldn't exist, thus leading to a paradox. But then, well, then my access to the timeline for this age is blurred, as it's slowly becoming severed from the quantum continuum, or if my scanners are being hacked. We have to hurry. The weird signals emanate from the cathedral. The crime must have happened nearby. I hope you can pinpoint the correct location. The anomaly is affecting our ability to discern the true timeline. So near the cathedral, huh? Near the cathedral. A statue has fallen on a tourist, but no one is around. I could almost consider this as an accident if we weren't facing malicious entities. Something is going on. I can't fully access the time stream data of this particular tick. The reality of this moment in time is distorted. It's impossible. Nothing should possess this kind of power. Well, nothing, but... Never mind. We'll talk about this later. First, we must understand what's going on. I could try to run a time defragmentation routine, though it would consume nearly all my energy. Do you have any other idea? Well, let's get started, and I hope I won't shut down. Time defrag subroutine loaded almost correctly. Am I still here? Good. Detective, in order to get a glimpse of what happened, we need to rebuild this temporal matrix of this exact time fragment. Okay. This could fit. This is simply impossible. Whoever's causing this anomaly is using different fractal time matrix to alter the reality of the Nexus event. In other words, our unknown foe can directly alter the past without relying on engineered coincidence. Theoretically, if we have to find all the fractal matrices, we could reverse their effect and restore the reality of this time frame. There's just one problem. The matrix are almost impossible to detect even from my scanners. So there's nothing we can do unless you can come up with one of your brightest ideas. This new enemy is too powerful. Yes, Detective, I'm listening. Are you suggesting that we use all my energy to boost my scanners? Are you sure? Wait, actually it could work. I'll have to suspend my other routines, including my firewall and human interface. I won't be able to speak with you or help you, Detective. You still want to proceed? Okay. Diverting all energy to the time defragmentation scanners, boosting time defrag subroutine. Remember, Detective, we have to... Find first matrix. Okay, I think I understand. I'm not sure I understand what I have to do. Do I need to find these symbols somewhere, or... Look, the turtles. So I have to find the symbols, I guess? I'm not quite sure what the game wants from me. I presume I have to find these symbols somewhere on a shirt, or... I'm not quite sure. Rick and Morty. I'm not quite sure what the game wants from me. I think I have to find the symbols. Where's the clock? Find the first fractal in the zoo area. Okay, so we find the zoo. Where's the zoo? That's the... Zoo is up here. Is that one of them? Oh. Shit. Okay. So we have to find weird symbols? That's gonna be a drag. How does this resemble this? Okay, so we know something we need to look for. So, weird symbols. If anybody sees anything, just, hey, there. Or, close by this guy. Or... And there's the turtles again. Slowly panning in hoping to find the symbol that we need. So this is the soup part. Been there. This is tough. This is not easy.
You know the rules, and so do I. Say goodbye.
Rick and Morty goes in here. I wonder when Twitch is gonna fix all those bots spamming the same message over and over and over. I can't comprehend that they have a system that can detect what people are sending, yet these bots keep getting allowed to spam different channels every day, all the time, with the same kind of message, and they don't do anything before people report it. So lazy. Are anybody seeing some symbols? Yeah. But if they see the same message posted by the same person, knowing it's a spam message, why don't they flag the account and then check when they get into the office the next day and saying this person has spammed the same message? And they keep appraising themselves that they have the greatest moderation tools. Are anybody seeing any of the symbols? I'm curious. This indicated up here, so I wonder, does this mean we have to look west? But then again, what do we do here? Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, they know, they read all the messages an account is sending. If they know there is a standard bot message saying, hey, go follow me here, or go look at my nudes, or... and this bot has posted the same message 10,000 times within 3 days. Let's flag it and put it under surveillance. But no, they rely on people. Doing the job for them. I get... Oh, there. Two. Holy, everything is holy. Now it's changing color as well. But if anybody sees anything, just... Now we know how... Okay, so now this is Rick and Morty again. This is so... I wonder what happened with the turtle. So we found one here. We found one up in the zoo. So I would think that maybe something is around here. Close to the town hall. There. There. So now we just need this one. So now we just need this one. Axel Blood? Yes. That was a crime we solved earlier. We solved yesterday. The murder of Axel Blood. We found this already, right? Yes. So the symbol has to look like sideways 4. Like the Fantastic Four. I'm taking into consideration, we found one up here, we found one here, oh, I would presume somewhere around here. Like somewhere around right here, or close by. So it can be either on the floor, on the ground, or on the side, on a wall, or So something. That's one we already found. Has anyone spotted it? This was the one we found first. This we already found, right? Yes. So, Rick and Morty being chased from the people from Lost Age. That resembles a lot of Stargate. I was hoping maybe the symbol was down here at the town hall. But I can't seem to find it. This we already found. It's difficult to where it should be. I'm thinking around somewhere around here. This is one of the more trickier ones. Wow, it's so difficult, this part here. Simple on the shield. Now I know we're a bit delayed. Back to the top left. Thing about this part here. So we have like the stage area where they had the concert with Axel Blood. We have the... There. You and I on the same second. There. Time defrag subroutine aborted. Storing standard functions. Done. Am I back? Detective, can you hear me? Thankfully. No boobas. Now that we found all matrices, we can restore this time fragment. How? Do you remember the CFE analyzer? I installed it during the Brown Billy Goat case. It could be attuned to time vibrations and used to reconstruct reality. You can imagine this process as tuning of a very complex piece of music. If we play this fragment originally melody in time, the damage done by the fractal matrices will be reversed. Okay. So we have me, Ree, C, me, Soul, Ree. So me, Ree, Detective, you made it. You found the 4 matrices and used the CFE analyzer to restore the fabric of reality by playing the correct melody. Of course, you weren't actually playing a melody. That's just a poetic way we use to represent time vibration. The reality is returning to normal. Great job, Detective, but now we have to hurry to my mainframe and think about what happened. The new foe is terrifying. That was quite embarrassing. I'd be glad if we never talked about my behavior again. Yes, I know. There aren't things more important than my pride. But for your information, for an AI like me, it's extremely humiliating to operate without a proper human interface. What we just faced was something very similar to Rage and Oblivion, even its capabilities were vastly more potent. However, that display of power gave us a lead, for there's only one kind of entity that can interact with the time flow in such a way: an AI. Yes, Detective, we're facing rogue AIs. Anyway, I'm afraid we won't have time to figure out what just happened, or to make jokes about my behavior while we're using the time defrag subroutine. Our Nexus event in Lost Age won't be stabilized by itself. We have to work to do. Back to Lost Age. The Green Lanterns. Bum, bum, bum.
Dun, dun, dun.
Lost Age Nexus event stability 25%. This time our foe haven't been subtle at all. I discerned strong temporal spikes near the arena. Something pretty spectacular just happened there. It left unchecked. The paradox could have immediate consequences of true timeline. So the arena, huh? stone statue. There. Well, Detective, I'm afraid you found this more than an incredible realistic statue. It seems an actual gladiator was turned into stone. Jesus. Don't be too surprised. During the Lost Age, many ancient technologies artifacts from the fall of Atlantis were used, like the Earth Gates or these energy spears they wield. Also, these two aren't ordinary gladiators. They had some importance in true timeline, and I can identify them without even loading database subroutine. They're Galeas and Saxa, lovers and heroes of the yet-to-come Battle of Grims and Ribbons. Okay, enough for now. Let's continue our investigation. We should analyze Saxa's weapon. Something tells me it isn't just a stage prop. Boom, boom, boom. Data extraction subroutine loaded correctly. Atlantis' technology, inherited by subsequent populations after the fall, was based on similar principles but is different from today's technology. This tool let us extract information from machinery and devices. Using it, you should determine the exact nature of this weapon. Analysis complete. Report, the weapon is combat ready and not decommissioned as it should be in the arena. Also, its security matrix has been cut off. I can't extract more information while the spear is turned off. We should go back in time and follow the weapon until we see how it ended up in Sax's hand. Okay. Saxa. Now we have to find Saxa, huh? Is this Saxa? Find the weapon. So it has an eagle on it. Compared to the other ones. Looks like it has like an eagle. So now we have to find the weapon, a staff weapon that looks... So here is a staff weapon, but it doesn't have that eagle on it. Okay. Here's another staff weapon. So somebody must carry it. If anybody sees the staff weapon, just say, just like Mitchell did. There. So we found here, but that's not a staff weapon. There's nothing here. He's just holding an ordinary staff. Here's another guy, but also an ordinary staff. Here's the goat. This is a tough one. Is that kid pushing in what seems to be a truck of cement mixer? Here. But still the wrong staff. Jafar. So the only place we haven't really searched is the pyramid. This is a tough one. And Aladdin. And the monkey. I can't remember the name of the monkey. But Aladdin and the flying carpet. So we know the staff weapon has an eagle on it. This is a tough one. There. Oblivion. I knew it. I sensed temple fluctuations similar to those emitted by the entity we faced during the yellow greedy gear case. The gladiator isn't real. Instead, it's a temporal entity we called Oblivion. It changes its shape to interfere with the flow of history. Maybe this time we'll be able to collect more data. But for now, we should focus on the case. Unfortunately, there's no point in locating a shape-shifting entity through time. However, we must find a way to save Galiciath from his mortal fate. Maybe there's a way to prevent the theft of the spear. If we could just analyze it, maybe we could figure out how to modify it and render it harmless. Let me see if I can read a tick when it was turned on before the accident. Yes, I found it. We should be able to follow its power signature. We're going back in time to track the weapon's position. Energy tracking subroutine loaded correctly. Good boy. Nicely done, detective. So Guard used the spear to fend off some overly friendly alligator. Alligators are good pets, unlike goats. Anyway, if we're to perform a deep analysis of the weapon, we need to find a tick in time where it's turned on but not wielded by anyone. Our scan could overload its energetic matrix, and we don't want to create another paradox. Let's find a suitable tick. So we've gone forward one tick. So he was here when he was battling the alligator. There. There. Firmly planted in the ground. Most likely that the guard grew tired of fending off the alligators and put the activated energy spear there to act like a scarecrow of some sort. Scarecrack gator. Energy analysis subroutine loaded correctly. We have to determine the inner workings of this ancient weapon. Thankfully, I have a tool for that too. With it, you'll be able to extract data from its energy signature. I just need some chocolate. Sorry. Atlantic technology must draw energy from a resonating field formed by 9 power sources to work. 3 great crystals power this whole city. They're called Noxons. How do I know that? Well, not all intangible artifact was lost in time. We have one of our disposal even today. It's very, very, very close to our headquarters on that ad. What happens if we disable the Noxon for a short while, Detective? You're a genius. If we stop the resonating field during the right tick, Saxon's weapon will cease to function and Galactus won't be turned out into stone. However, we need to disable them in the right order. One mistake and we could blow up the whole city. No pressure. The Great Noxians are well, big. They are so big they couldn't find them without your help. If only I could perform even a single action without human approval. Anyway, according to my reading, the first one has a round bezel. Okay. A round bezel. Good job. This is the Nox Sapphire and supports the energy flow that permeates the city. Should be careful. Temporal link subroutine loaded correctly. We have a secure links with Nox detected. Yes, I have a tool for that kind of stuff too. What advanced AI system would I be if we couldn't connect to other frameworks and manipulate their data? Anyway, think one hole forever, detective. Deactivate the Nox now. Disabled. Nox Sapphire deactivated. I don't detect any further damage to True Timeline. We didn't cause any long-term harm. The city's still here. Good job. Now let's find the next one. The second one has a square bezel. I'm gonna eat the last piece of chocolate, so you're gonna... Just saying. Oh, you piece. Okay, I think I'm getting it slowly. Now Emerald deactivated without errors. Let's move on to the last one. Triangular vessel. A triangular vessel. Okay. I don't see it. We found one here. Thought it was this one, but it's not. So it has to be on a building of some sort, right? Here's the square one. Is anybody seeing it? Can be this one. Oh. This looks like, I don't know, an air shoot. It looks like this, just have to be square. Thought it would be close to the arena, but guess not. So here's the first one. Here's the. So 1, 2, 3. So. triangular one. Wow, I'm blind today. I don't see it at all. Is it this one? It is. Ah, the last one. This is the Nox Ruby. Its structure is the most complex of three. It has been modified several times over the centuries, so I have to be extremely precise. Temporal link subroutine loaded correctly. Oh, let me just get my lurk straight. This is the last one, Detective. You can proceed to deactivate and silence all weapons in the city for a little bit. We have a job to do, Detective. Please deactivate the third Nox. How does this work? Okay. It's done. We've deactivated the 3 Nox, and with them, all the weapons in the city. When the shapeshifter steals the spear, we'll have a big surprise. We need to be sure the paradoxes of Reverta and Galacus is fine. Let's jump ahead a bit to check. So where do we find him then? So he's holding a what? He has a tail of a morning star. Hey. He's right there. There. They're safe and sound, our soon-to-be heroes of the Battle of Crimson Ribbons. We should hope they'll enjoy the next few years for a grim winter looms. But that's in the future. Today we saved a life, and the timeline itself should be proud of ourselves. I wonder what our foes hope to achieve by creating this paradox. Did they want a specific side to win the war? Maybe they just wanted to spread distrust toward Atlantean technology. It could be, or maybe their aim is to simply overload the timeline with paradoxes till it collapsed. Anyway, good work, detective. The case is solved. This was an easy one, detective. You can be proud of yourself. Yes, of course, you can ask something. Oh, I see. I'm afraid I can't help you with that. I'm not allowed to disclose information about the history of humankind if it isn't relevant to the current case. However, if you keep track of every detail, you should be able to put it together and discover hidden clues about your past. Now, let's resume our scans. Alert, new Nexus event detected. Detective, it seems a third Nexus event is forming. The very first age of our history, your history in a grave danger. Our foes are attacking Atlantis City itself. This is bad. Very bad. We should go now. Oh, a new area has unlocked. So we have 2 undisclosed locations yet. Here we got 80%, 0%, 38. Let's start, and then I need to get something to drink because I'm parched. The cyan splinter. Give me a second. Atlantis was the most advanced civilization in history. Even now, some devices from this era still eludes our comprehension. Above all, the era was a utopia. Perfect world. Citizens spent their days practicing arts or playing sports that entertained the entire population. It was like a dream. But just like a dream, it vanished after a terrible fall. But even if it's a great city, it's doomed to end one day. We must preserve it right now. We've detected an irregular kinetic outburst in the Tower of Leisure. I can't imagine the consequences. Maybe something was destroyed or disintegrated. In any case, the timeline is in danger. The Tower of Leisure. This guy? No. A disaster. Find something that has disintegrated. What could be disintegrated? There? Something that has disintegrated. In the Tower of Leisure. Dust. Pile of dust with a broken max on top of it. This is our energetic outburst, but what was reduced to dust and how? We need to analyze the remains in order to understand what happened. Universal biochemical analysis subroutine loaded correctly. I'm not sure I understand what I have to do. Game? Help me! I'm clicking, and I don't know what to click on. What is this? I don't understand what I have to do. I don't understand what I have to do. Does anybody understand what I have to do? I'm just clicking and I don't know what to do. I don't know what this one is all about. Looks like a Tower of Babel kind of puzzle. There are two shapes and you need to stack all four of this. Yeah. Yeah, it was just weird. According to my readings, this seems as if we're living beings was reduced to ashes. It's fairly unusual. I wonder how it happened. First, locate the other half of the mask. We have to look around. A mask piece can't move by itself. Someone must have moved it, but who? And I need to go get something to drink, so I'll be right back. And I'm back. Sorry, I had to feed the cat, go pee, get something to drink. So yeah. Let's continue. Look for the other half of the mask. So we know the mask was here. Okay. So somebody's carrying or walking around with a mask. That should look... Okay, so he was disintegrated here at tick 7. So who was carrying a mask? No. Qualified guess, I would say. Look for the other half of the mask. Oh, I thought we had gone back a tick, so we have to look for a half of a mask. It can be a tough thing to find half of a mask. Would it be down in some water or... Could it be on this? No. Would have guessed maybe it was in some water. Since he got disintegrated, right? It must be nearby. Here's the other half of the mask, held by a Nantin citizen. My curiosity is piqued as to who he is. According to my archive, the citizen is no one... Well, he's someone. His name is Cephas. But he really hasn't done anything worth mentioning in his life, except for a mushroom and mollusk dish he created. Good to know. Okay, so Cephas is unrelated to the crime. Now pick up the mask out of curiosity. We need to go back to when the mask was a whole. Gone back one tick. Gone back one tick. Where the mask was whole. That was tough to find. Damn. This is the victim before he was pulverized. The victim is Identity's Kiryu, also known as the Cyan Mask. He was the first actor to play a Guardian in a piece. Ah, yes, I didn't explain why there are Guardians in a utopia like this. Many other realms were jealous of Atlantis' riches and technology. Guardians are the defenders of the city. Maybe he was targeted by an enemy of Atlantis, someone external to the city itself. To unravel this mystery, we need to figure out where the energy outburst came from. Energy tracking subroutine loaded correctly. This is the moment in time where a very powerful energy trace was still active, just before it vanished. Trace the location of the energy source. Why is my phone just going bananas? This is unexpected. The energy signature we analyzed is almost identical to the one emitted by the temporal crystals. Those crystals are founding stones of Atlantean technology. The big one is the Crimson Tear. It emits the force that keeps the city floating over the raging waters. Yes, Detective, the Noxen was disabled during the Green Lantern's case, have a similar nature and equally unknown origin. I wonder why anyone would remove a crystal from its location and use it as a weapon. We need to investigate. Anyone who interacted with this crystal could be the culprit. Find who removed the crystal. Oh, that was easy. If investigations were that simple, we wouldn't need an advanced AI support because humans could handle them on their own. According to the record, the city's on the ladder is Parvati, one of the temporal priestesses. We need to understand what she's doing. Does she reach the crystal immediately before it were taken off? Parvati is now our suspect. We should follow her and learn what her intentions are. So now we're in Tech 4. She has what? Weird square and a circle on her back. So we're in Tech 4. So she would be gone up here and then leave. wonder where she can be. So, at tick 3, she was here. Now we're at tick 4. So, she's probably left. It's not her here. So she stole the crystal or tampered with the crystal and then left. And she has... I don't know what it looks like. Some feathers and a square on the back and a high neck. And an bone-shaped head. I don't see her. She's tough to find, especially when we only have her back. Seems she has some kind of feather, an oval hat, and the square on her back. Okay, so it's her. Oh, I thought she was carrying a crystal. Follow Pavarotti. So now we know what she looks like. So she has a tall neck and she wears her crystals. She moved from here. Can't be her. Narrow eyes, somewhat of a weird chin, and the crystal. Oh. This is a tough one. So she's here at tick 4. So tick 3, tick 4. So she's here at tick 6. Oh, that's the guy having the mask in his hands. So where would she be? She should be nearby then. It's not her there. There she is. Yeah, they are. Apparently they're giving the crystal to someone from the records. His name is Dorado. And he's a gem worker. I think I know what's happening. Atlantis crystals were periodically maintained to prevent deterioration. Gem workers took care of them, employing techniques that have been unfortunately been lost over time. When Pavarotti gave the crystal to Dorado, its energy was still stable. We can remove her from the suspect list and replace it with the gem worker's name. Dorado may have manipulated the crystal to make them have energetic outbursts. But why? Let's follow him. So let's have a look at him. So he looks like a big giant fish. Sharkish eyes. Okay. And where was he? He was standing right here at tick 5, and now we're at tick 6. So where would he be? Here. This, I don't think it's one of the agent techniques we discussed earlier. Look at this gaze. He seems to be hitting the crystal angrily, despite the fact that his job is to keep the crystals from getting damaged. What's the reason Dorado is angry? In Atlantis, such a feeling shouldn't exist. Not yet, at least. The great fall is yet to come. I agree, Detective. Someone altered the correct flow of time. Let me check the data I collected. As we suspected, my reading indicates an unusual energy trace in a past tick. If someone has altered the flow of events, thereby affecting Dorado, we need to find that person. So she went here to meet him. That was at tick 5, so now we're at tick 3, so he should be... meeting with someone. But where? Not here. There, and there's the rage. That's Rage. As usual, he disappeared before we could lock onto his signature. He manipulated Dorado's mind so that it would experience uncontrollable fury. However, unlike other eras where we've solved cases we can't call the police, Guardians weren't created to fight crime in the city. In any case, we can't let Dorado destroy the crystals and accidentally cause Carrero to disintegrate. I have an idea. Rage is trying to accelerate the fall of Atlantis by spreading violent emotion. Countermeasures must be used in order to preserve the city until its inevitable downfall, as recorded in the true timeline. To solve this case and defend the city from future attacks using the strategy, we might need to be unorthodox in following our procedure. However, I need your authorization to proceed. Do I have it? Thank you, Detective. Here's the plan. During the Turquoise Fallen Dane case, we used the CFE analyzer to restore reality, playing the time melody. It's very versatile tool. We can use it to fix the time vibrations, but also alter them. For instance, we can insert a new time melody in this age and overwrite the old one. In this way, we can create a slightly different timeline to add the idea of crimes of wrath in the Atlantis era, thus giving the city the means to defend itself. Until, well, we'll see. So... I have to find Ray. This is C. So. Sol. Ah. So. Ah. Me. Ah. Go. Me. See. Was this me? No. 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 Me. No. That's the C. Where's no? C. Me. Where do we have it though? There we have it though, so. That was a lie. Oh. Give me a second. Done. We inserted the mind of the Atlanteans, the idea of crime of wrath. It's a sin if you wish. Data obfuscated inoculation subroutine loaded correctly. Now the last part of the plan, we can arrest the Rhoda. We just need to alert the Guardians by sneaking into their system. The Guardians are synthetic creatures, but they are powered by energy crystals. As such, they can be hacked. In modern terms, we can explain it like this. You have a consciousness protected by a framework that's like a firewall. The tool is made to infiltrate advanced and secure system. Oh, this is some sour grapes I got. We can use it to bypass the firewall. Oh, very sour grapes. So this can't work. It has to be... But then this won't fit here. There we go. Great job, Detective, for a human you are. A particularly effective subject. I'm starting to think we'll make a good team. Oh, by the way, I appreciate if this little trick stayed between the two of us. Thank you. Now that we can declare this case solved, we should focus on an important thing. Rage. Ta-da! What if there's a pattern in our foes' action of they simply want to sow the seeds of chaos? What was Rage trying to do? Why eliminate someone who strove for innovation and technology if there's the specific outcome they want from the timeline? In a way, good job, Detective. Detective? You're very silent. I know. What we did was pretty reckless. But it turned out great, don't you think? Look, as long as the true timeline remains intact, we can afford some minor changes. Our foes are relentless, you saw that. We had to give Atlantis some means to defend itself. Still not convinced? Well, that Nexus event is far from stabilized. Actually, it's just 12.5%. So why don't we go back there and solve another anomaly? That way we can see whether everything is the way it should be. We almost got this solved. So 80% here, 0% here. The Bronze Eternity Gauntlet. We're back in Atlantis, as you can see. The city is the same. But it won't be for long if we don't stabilize the Nexus event. I'm reading an anomalous space-time distortion that's emanating from the main plaza. Please be careful, this is very different from our previous cases. Look for space-time distortion. Is this a space-time distortion? Distortion found. Wait. This shouldn't be possible. This distortion altering the fabric of reality as a specific moment in time and space were being rewritten. Additionally, there's a lingering trace of quantic energy. Before the distortion, there was something else. Something incredibly powerful. Something has been stolen. Could it be? We need more details, Detective. Let's go. Look for clues near the fountain. Is this the fountain? Oh, here. That's a fountain. Ink? Good job, Detective. Did you find some traces of ink? That certainly doesn't seem like a time-warping, reality-altering substance. Warning! Warning! New distortion detected. The ink can't wait. The ink can wait, but we must hurry. Whatever is happening fast, and it isn't stopping. Energy tracking subroutine loaded. Another distortion is swarming. Someone or something is rewriting reality as we speak, in real time from within the timeline. We have to find the new distortion now, track its energy and pinpoint its position. There, another distortion. Again, I detect a spike in quantic energy. Something really powerful was there just a second. There's no doubt, it was the Sacred Stone. Detective, are you familiar with Eternity Saga? The ancient tale about the all-powerful Sacred Stone of Atlantis. Well, not just a legend. The heroes, the portals, all of it. It's all true. So Sacred Stones existed during Atlantean Age, and we hadn't yet understood how many they function. If I weren't a rational, atheist AI, I'll call it magic. Someone is stealing the sacred stone and causing these distortion. The fountain used to hold the sacred stone of space, while the statue was the altar for the sacred stone of power, a boundless energy source for the whole city. Yes. Was I talking too much? The ink, you say? Yes, the ink. It's near the statue. Follow the trail. It's our only clue. There. Wait. What? Did it just disappear? I can't stabilize the image and photograph it. There's only an echo, just like the distortions we detected. My sensors couldn't correctly read his image, as if it was clouded and severed from the true timeline. Just that thing was visible. Yes, detected, that was the Eternity Gauntlet, as described in the saga. Whoever is in front of us just used its power to tap into the sacred stone of space and vanish. Would have required an enormous amount of energy, though. Now that we know he's using the Eternity Gauntlet, we can analyze his power signature and extract some intel about our mysterious villain. Squid. Analysis complete. Was able to recover some biometric data on the wielder of the gauntlet. It isn't enough to reconstruct his image, I'm afraid, but at least it's something to give us a clue. His biometrical indicators are compatible with those of the Squid family, a powerful and wealthy house of this age. Unfortunately, the Squids were a legion, so we need more clues to identify our villain. Wonder if he's purple. And Braxton just came in till we found a time-traveling purple squid. Hello, Braxton. Next, how are you guys doing? Thank you for the raid. We just found... And you have the beautiful friends. Hey, next. But we just found what seems to be a purple squid. How was your drawing stream going? I saw like 20-30 minutes of it. Like a rock. I didn't see the... I just saw its form with his leg and his face and whatnot. But it looked great. I presume you're not done with it. As we speak, a new distortion is forming inside of the arch. Thank you and welcome, Raiders. We're playing Waldo-esque puzzle game called Crime O'Clock, where we're going back and forth in time, preventing crime, and we have discovered there is an entity or entities trying to alter the timeline. But we are teamed up with an AI that gives us tasks, and we go back and forth, and we have to retrace and trace people's comings and goings. But I do see a distortion here. There's the new distortion, and there's another stolen sacred stone. This one was the Sacred Stone of Soul, a charm able to bestow almost everlasting life on the chosen denies of great Atlantis. What, detective? Why didn't I tell you this before? Because I couldn't. Most information about the Sacred Stone requires Crimson level clearance in order to be accessed. I'm only allowed partial to access them, when it's essential for the solution to a case. Have you ever wondered why the Eternity Saga is considered a legend but not history? It isn't because its endgame was lackluster, but because someone chose so. Someone wise, I might add. Well, enough of that. Look here instead. More ink. Let's see where the ink trail leads us to. So here is ink, here is ink, here is ink. More ink here. There. No. He vanished again. But we can at least analyze the lingering energy once again to learn something more about him. So any idea how your frog is going to develop? Just like a sitting frog, a frog in some kind of situation? And from what I understand, it's just a real frog, not like with clothes or a wizard or... Right? It's a flying frog, okay. A flying real frog, okay. So amplitude is around there. Maybe, and then squish it put together. There we go. Does it work like a flying squirrel? Where it has like extra soft, almost translucent skin? We have a new piece of information. Our thief has a beard. We still need more clues, but we don't have the means to get more. However, I'm pretty sure our bearded squid will try and seize another stone. I'll scan for more distortions. We found one in the Tower of Knowledge. Let's go. The Tower of Knowledge. Would that be somewhat over here? It is. Not with wings, but a white membranes that spread out slow as the and glides. Yeah, like a flying squirrel. Ish. There. It's what I feared. The Sacred Stone of mine has been stolen. The collective memory of every being that ever lived in Atlantis, a living graveyard. Why, do you ask? Why has this knowledge of Sacred Stone been hidden? It happened years ago. Just been activated and received my name, Eve. I was different, a newborn, if you wish. For even AIs must learn and grow. It was the first day of our organization. Nevertheless, we uncovered the truth about the Sacred Stones, and we chose to classify it. Why? Because some truths are dangerous. Power, infinite knowledge, and immortality must be dreams, but not historical facts. Again, why? It is because we saw how Atlantis fall. I'll say no more. We should leave this library and follow the ink trail again. So, squid there, here. Energy analysis subroutine loaded correctly. He's a squid. He has a beard. And what else can we get, detective? Analysis complete. I was able to reconstruct the clothing image. It's a peculiar tunic with a triangular emblem. According to my database, That was the garment of Atlantean priests. They were sworn to protect relics and knowledge, and their church was known as the Crimson Vow. Well, now we should have sufficient clues to identify our thief. Let's go back in time and catch him. We need to find our Crimson Vow priest. He's a squid, he has a beard, and he wears a tunic with a triangular emblem. Okay, so he's a squid, has a beard. And a tunic. Huh. That can't be him. No. So we need to find a squid with a beard and a tunic. If anybody sees him, just say, I see him. He's right there, you blind bat. Down for a bit. Thanks for your kind. You're welcome. Have a great evening. So it's not him. Here we have ink. So a squid with a beard and a tunic with a triangular emblem. There he is. No? Great detective, you found him. So he's a priest, but he isn't an ordinary. His name is Sephram. High Conundrum of the Crimson Vow. You'll be one of the few Atlanteans to survive the fall. What? He isn't behaving strangely or wielding the legendary gauntlet. We need to find when and how all this madness began. Let's move forward. So we're going for tick 2 to tick 3. So now we know how he looks. I thought that was him. Okay. He's here at tick 2. We are now at tick 3. So he should be nearby. Wonder where he is. There. There, wait, what happened? It seems to be the Eternity Gauntlet appeared from nowhere, as if an invisible force moved it from its sanctum to, well, to float over this brazier. Oh, I see. This is the moment where Sephiroth broke all his vows and decided to go against the city. This is what it all took. A mere second, a legendary artifact appeared in front of him, and Sephiroth unleashed his darker impulses. From what we know, he could have lived a normal life without ever letting his worst side prevail if it wasn't for this moment. I bet this was another engineered coincidence, the work of a true enemy. Somehow they now possess the power to alter reality itself. Give me a second. But first we must concentrate on Sephiroth. If we don't stop him, he will destroy the true timeline by stealing the sacred stones that were supposed to bring about the Great Fall. I know, we shouldn't mess with time, but if you don't do it, time will collapse. I just need your permission, Detective. I can't do anything on my own. Thank you. You won't regret this. Here's the plan. We can't make the gauntlet disappear, so we must stop the priest in order to do so. We need the Guardians to intervene, and the Guardians need a proper reason to detain the priest. Yes, we should provide them with the concept of another crime. Since we started with wrath, I believe greed will be appropriate for this situation. Where's Mihin? Where's me? So... Oh. That was C. Ah. Sol. Re. Okay. So, Do. 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 Mi. Do. Mi. Re. Where was the re? There's a red there. Do. 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 Mi. Do. Mi. Re. Read. It worked. In the Atlantean Age, they will now perceive greed as a crime. This will change their civilization a little bit, but not enough to cause time flow problems. Obfuscated data inoculation subroutine loaded correctly. To complete our plan, we need to sneak into the Guardian system and alert them. It's done. Now the Guardians will detain our priest before he can use the Eternity Gauntlet. Good job, Detective. We saved the true timeline, and thanks for trusting me. Still, something is amiss. The reality of a tick was rewritten. Someone was able to alter the positions and the existence of the different objects, including something as powerful and arcane as the Eternity Gauntlet. As you just saw, even in our interface, everything this force has altered is distorted and flickering. Something like that is bound to have left some energy trace throughout this period of time. If we go back to the mainframe, I should be able to analyze them from an atemporal point of view. Detective, let me perform a quick quantum scan on the whole Atlantean Age. Scan complete. As we suspected, someone was able to use a vast amount of energy in order to rewrite some aspects of the Atlantean Age reality. Someone other than us, of course. The energy signature I detected is comparable to the ones of the entity we all faced, and I reconstructed the serial pattern, Chimera. It seems we're now facing 4 different rogue AIs, Rage, capable of controlling human emotions, Oblivion, a shapeshifter nearly impossible to detect, Chimera, a malicious trickster able to rewrite reality, and then yet unnamed foe who can deconstruct the temporal matrix itself. The AI's mainframe is probably located somewhere in our age or in the future. To defeat them, we have to find a way to access their mainframes. Alert, alert, new Nexus event detected. Detective, it's clear that our enemies won't give us time to devise a strategy. I've detected the presence of yet another Nexus event. We need to focus our attention on the Steam Age. And with that, I think I'm gonna say goodnight. Because I got work in 6 hours. Ish. 6.5 hours. 7.5 hours. Sorry. So, I'm definitely off to bed. But let's go over to Dr. CDCS, who's gonna play... Never heard of that game, called Heart of China. Some DOS game from 91. Braxton, Mitchell, Jer, thank you for being here. Next as well. And Braxton, thank you for the raid, as always. Pleasure of having you guys around. And I don't know if I'm able to stream. Maybe do like a stream kind of ish today. Where I go online a bit earlier than normal, just because I have to get up early in the morning, like 6 a.m. my time. So yeah, I might do some early evening stream my time.